No longer separated by cosmic cabinets, Brandon, Logan, Dylan, and Josiah are here with the Breakdown Podcast live at the Break Room Arcade. Hi, guys.
Hello.
You know, it really just like dawned on me how much my persona changes when I'm in front of a camera.
It also dawned on me that you didn't know the show was starting, and I just kind of did it.
No, I did it. I kind of was just kind of being a contrarian in that sense, you know, just causing a little bit of a ruckus. I mean, what else would I do, you know? I mean,
The show.
You could do the show.
But I could also do the show and cause a ruckus. I mean, considering this is the Breakdown as opposed to the Nintendo Stuff podcast, a little more casual, but I get it.
Yeah, we break it down here at the Breakdown.
I guess there has to be somewhat of an order.
So, we haven't done this show in a while. Sorry, but here we are. Dylan, why don't you let everybody know what you're about, where they can find you on the old internet?
Yeah, we have guests.
Hello, I'm Dylan. I just started a YouTube channel and I've had a podcast for a couple months now. You can find me on Twitter at The Cosmic Bones. I'm pretty much along the same lines of these guys, just gaming related stuff and film. The podcast is called The Scene That Got You. Second episode. Brandon here was the first. I'm sure you've all listened to it by now.
All of us.
I listened to the
wonderful, everyone.
wonderful
I
Lion
totally
King podcast.
have listened to it
Yeah.
because I'm a responsible friend.
Hey, I was in it.
Brandon didn't listen to the
did
podcast. Shame
not.
on you. I listened to the wonderful Lion King podcast with Brandon Miracle.
It was a fun time.
It was a good time. I think that's everything I can plug. I don't do much.
Well, why don't you talk about the video you uploaded yesterday?
Oh yeah, I uploaded a video last night. It's my first video. It's called.
You did it, man.
I did it. It's called. I think we got Unlocks and Games, in which I sat in front of a mic and said, "Man, I like progression a whole lot. I'm gonna talk about how good it was back in the day."
Okay, I just have to interject because I watched this. I watched it. I get popped up, and I was like, "Oh my god!" You know, Dylan's doing some good stuff, and also not to mention that like I think a lot about unlocks. And how that plays in or gets erased by like microtransactions and just how disgusting that was. So like watching that video, it was very like, oh, like I felt like not that I didn't already feel a kinship with you, my dude, but certainly after that video, I was like, you know, Dylan, he's a true.
Yeah, Dylan sent me the script, and I was like, oh man, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
I specifically avoided microtransactions because I want to talk on the bright side. Really.
Yeah, it would have just detracted from your whole
Yeah,
point.
it
I
definitely just having like a little bit of a distilled. Because okay, I'm a person. I love to rant. I think it's probably a blessing and a curse, but certainly having a more focused narrative in that way, you know, because all of a sudden like you watch it, I'm not necessarily thinking about microtransactions other than the fact that's just what I think about when I think about unlocks in games, like the other side of the coin, but certainly having that and being like, yeah, like let's get back to this, and then also having a discussion with Brandon afterwards about remember unlocking Mewtwo in Melee?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
buddy.
having to do how many matches and putting in how many hours to finally get this character.
The funniest
in the
thing
game.
about that, too, is like you asked me, you were like, wait, how many matches do you have to do to unlock Mewtwo? And I remembered it being 700. And the alternative method of playing 20 hours of single player.
It's still insane to me. 700 matches is way too many matches to
is.
unlock that character.
Yeah,
I
there's a
did
lot.
it. I did it. We all did it.
I did it
you
in
know?
an afternoon using methods.
Oh, methods, huh?
I won't.
Dude, that was always the thing. Is like there was always like ways around it. Like sometimes it was like just getting a certain amount of stocks. So like you put it on 300% and you get everybody 99 stocks.
but Special Smash didn't count towards your match count. I learned the hard way.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Mhm.
Ooh.
So like I had to go back in and just like turn the smash ratio, the damage ratio up, and basically I get one hit kills after that. But I think I had it set to 2 CPUs that would just fight each other, and I just kept starting and restarting the matches over and over again.
That's
so
really
smart.
funny. That's really funny to
I'm
me.
gonna be honest though. I went on the game packs and downloaded a save with all the characters. I was like, I can't do this. I can't get Mewtwo by myself.
How did you get it onto the memory card? Did you have like
It was
a
like
USB?
through USB.
There was a
Yeah.
way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had an action replay.
I had,
Was it Gecko USB?
I can't remember, but I had code breakers too.
Okay.
I had
Oh,
code
yeah,
breakers.
Side note,
I think they're the same thing.
my
Probably.
brother just sent me a picture like in our group sibling snap of like a disc, and it was Action Replay
Oh,
DS, and I was
yes.
like, "Where did you find this?"
Wait,
He goes, "I
wait,
found
action
it in a."
replay DS on
Yeah.
a disc?
Oh, yeah, I saw that
What?
snap.
I was like,
What does that
"Wait,
even?
when did we ever have this in the house?" But apparently, one of the boys at some point had an Action
Well,
Replay.
the
for
disc was
DS.
like the software that let you select stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because wouldn't you use a SD card for
And then it would bounce
Yeah.
everything to the SD card, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. I
did you use
might
a
have
flash
had one
card
of those.
afterwards?
You would use a flash card
Okay.
afterwards.
Nintendo didn't like that. As it
No,
turns
they
out.
didn't, as it turns out.
To Conman RDW in the chat, we'll reiterate this is our friend Dylan.
Hello.
This is our friend Josiah.
Hello.
You might know Joe, and you also might know
yeah,
Dylan.
they're both
Possibly.
I'm
pretty
here
active in the
occasionally.
server.
Both mods in the Discord.
Mhm.
Link to that in the description below if you haven't joined.
Join the Discord.
Join
We
it.
have
Definitely
a
join the
group
Discord.
of wonderful people
We're-
in that Discord.
Join the
All
Discord.
right.
So we talked to you, Dylan, about what you've been up to lately. But Joe, what's going on in your town? That was disheartening.
I'm an artist and a game developer. You can check me out at Clockwork Giant Games on Twitter or
Also-
at Clockwork Giant. I'm not sure.
Also, welcome back to the show, by the way.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Over a year.
Maybe a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
Also, never in this capacity.
That is a long time.
Of course, that's also probably true for most of us.
Yeah.
Like even like we've done this once before at this table.
Technically twice because we did the breakdown and Nintendo stuff.
Did
But-
we?
Yeah, we did
I
the
thought
breakdown with Jake Kaufman, and the very next morning, Yumi and Paul did Nintendo stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that happen? Dude, my working memory is so bad.
Logan, are you okay?
Somebody send me to a doctor.
What else have you been up to, Joe?
Well, I've just been working on the game as hard as I can.
What game is that?
Oh, Volpine. You can check us out at volpinegame.com. It's a game. It's an action exploration game where you play as animals wielding weapons.
So, let's see. You had a successful Kickstarter. That was like last summer.
Yes,
right?
that was January 2018.
Oh, January. Okay.
January 2018.
Very
It's been
nice.
that long.
Yep, it's ingrained into my memory. It's a very, very powerful month for me.
Yeah, I imagine. I remember watching that Kickstarter very closely every day, and then getting very excited the day it went over.
Oh man, I don't think I had a panic attack that time. It's actually crazy.
I'm glad to hear that.
That first Kickstarter was rough.
Hey, that was the time I didn't have a panic
Yeah,
attack.
I was like, I didn't have a panic attack that time. Great.
And people can still support the game now.
Oh yeah, you can late back us on volpinegame.com, or you can just follow us on Twitter. That's fine. Wishlist on Steam. We're on Steam. We have a Steam page.
Yeah,
Santi, if you can find some links for us and post that in
Yeah,
the chat,
yeah.
that'd be great.
Go search
You're-
Volpine on Steam.
your Twitter metrics, I mean, even from the outside, are pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how to use Twitter. I don't know how to build a
Does
brand.
anyone know how to
But,
use
like,
Twitter?
I make animations that look good. Isaac makes things work in a way that looks good.
Speaking of animations, that
The
loading screen animation is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to post a screenshot Saturday today, but I don't want to post what I've been working on because I want people to see that later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an exciting
Mhm.
prospect.
I'm very excited for that.
So-
Are you? I'm sorry. Are you gonna be on any other good old games? Are you gonna be on Epic Store?
You
Are
know,
gonna
we're
be-
looking into everything, but right now it's just Steam and not Nintendo Switch.
That's
Wow.
something.
Thanks, Nintendo.
So yeah, what we like to do here on the Breakdown Podcast. Well, you know what, Logan? Why don't I let you talk about what you've been up to? It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of things, a lot of games, a lot of traveling. I mean, on a whim, I decided that screw it. I have a 4-day weekend, and I'm gonna make use of it by driving 4.5 hours north to where I am at currently. And so far, it's totally been worth it. It's never not been worth it.
Yeah, we always have a good
Yeah.
time.
But yeah, just generally working away. I went to a wedding last Saturday. That was a good time. Shout out to the newlyweds.
I went to a
Had a
wedding
good
too, as a
time.
matter of fact.
Yeah.
I recorded a
boys over
wedding.
here.
But
It was the same day as me.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
here's what I'll say, and I've been saying this, and I won't name too many names, but I had a conversation, and this relates to the show and what we're trying to do and what our passions are, and even somewhat to Joe, what you're doing. The fact that like I realize I know so many capable people, and then not just capable people, but capable people with connections already, and that means I have connections, and that's insane to think about. I had a conversation with a close friend about this, and like we are in such a place that like if we just keep working hard, like eventually we're not going to have to do our day jobs, or at the very least our day jobs are our passions. It's podcasting, it's making games, it's podcasting, making videos, like all these things. And then, for me, like making music and, doing the audio stuff, like the fact that we're sitting here right now with, 4 AT2020s, this wonderful table, is the result of, us putting our brains together and doing some good old labor and earning some money and pooling our resources to make something like this happen. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's what I love to do. And that's what I'd like to continue to do on an even larger scale. And what that looks like down the road is I don't exactly know. I have, my vision of what that would look like. And that absolutely includes just bringing more people on over time and just bringing the best out of everybody to make sure that we're all taken care of. And then also that we're just doing it better. Like, because we can do it better. Like even now, like think about the amount of people who actually have the freedom to all gather in front of a table with all of this equipment at our disposal, to create something. Like, that's an incredible thing. And not everybody gets that chance, but we do. Like, we have the chance to make something absolutely incredible, and then to influence people and ultimately just the world for better. And I want to use that responsibly. And it's really exciting to do.
When I come into this room to work and I see all the stuff that's in here, I see the painted walls, this table, this setup. There's a lot of soul that goes into all of this too. Just how much time and effort and money that we've put into making this happen. It makes me feel really good every time I come in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of time and effort I've seen being put into this room just in itself.
Yeah.
And think about like how
Spent my honeymoon painting.
Yeah, you did.
All of that time
that
spent over how much time, It's not like it all happened overnight. It was little by little. Hey, let's do something extra. Brand, even like, this whole set, like this was all you. You were like, oh, I want a good set for videos.
And my wife.
Yes. Shout out to Brandon's wife. But like, ultimately like this, we just kept working at it. Even now, like I don't even know how many people are watching the stream, but it's not like it's an insane amount, but a few people still show up, and honestly, I don't even need anybody to show up. Not that I don't appreciate it. I do. I like when people show up.
At the same time, like I look at a lot of the people who watch our show and Michaela,
thank you,
and listen to the podcast and think about it. A lot of those people have been here for over a year now.
Yeah.
And they've stuck around for this long.
Yeah. So I mean, if we can ever get out of like the depths of YouTube, like
Tiny
that's
town.
what I feel like. Like yeah, it's. I watched a video recently by Big Joel. Shout out to Big Joel on YouTube. If you're watching this, I love you. I love your content so much. But he made a video about small YouTubers, and I sent this to you.
That was a really good video, yeah.
And he talked about like all of these people's struggles to like get big, and he talked specifically about one person. And you should watch the video because I'll definitely mess it up. But the idea that like, oh, maybe we're doing something wrong. What are we doing wrong? What could we be doing better? And sometimes it just doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just like, the luck of the draw even, or we're slaves to the algorithm, even having the conversation of like, do we live stream this? Because is that hurting like our reach for whatever reason. We don't know why, if that was the case, because we don't know nobody knows what the mystical algorithm,
It's kind of forced us into experimentation. Those of you in the Discord know all about that.
And that's
yeah.
That's why it's really important to have kind of like a grassroots kind of thing going on. And how do you do that? By other than building a rapport with the few people that do come, which, man, like I feel like this wouldn't be as worth it, if some of you guys didn't show up consistently like you do.
We love you.
And it's funny because like it's not like it's been stagnant. It's just it's a very it's a pretty slow crawl. But like eventually like one person shows up that hadn't been there before, and then they show up for another and another, and then so on and so on. And it's really exciting to like even just consider that there's even less than a handful of people that actually give a crap about what we say and what we do here. And that's like really infectious. And, even though there's so many things about myself that I want to improve upon, and I don't feel like I make as much, progress as I feel like I should. I feel like we probably all feel like that, like at one time or another. We're like, are we going to make it? Are we going to be able to do and create the things that we want to create?
I found myself less worried about that in the last couple weeks.
Oh, I wonder why.
Medicine. But no, it's been good to kind of let go and just make stuff and enjoy doing that.
Yeah, it's wonderful just to get back to the fact that I like doing this because I like doing it. I like doing it for the sake of doing it. And then, the continued support, hopefully in the end allows us to do this and not my day job, which I don't mind, but I'd rather not do it. I'd rather just do this. I'd rather have more time to make videos and make music and do more Photoshop and do better video editing or whatever it may be, and I want to work harder to give all of us a better chance at that, and figuring out what that was. So, I mean, even you just talking about having a discussion about, what medication can do. I even had, I went out with a close, long-time friend before the podcast, and we even had that conversation. Mm-hmm. And he did one thing. He was like, okay, so what do you need to do to be productive? What do you need? Like, what's the plan? Like, what's your direction? Like, how are you going to keep yourself accountable is what he said. I was like, I don't know. I don't think about these things. But eventually, after he drilled me a little bit, I was like, oh, like I'm so much more capable of doing these things, even though like I feel like sometimes like, oh, I don't have the energy or the focus, or like I always forget, it's always excuses. And then like, you can do it. You can make the appointment and get to a better point. So why aren't you doing the things that you need to do? And that's a big question I think everybody needs to ask of themselves. And also another thing that another friend of the show, Jake, has said to me a million times is like, you are more capable than you think you are. And that has always resonated with me because it's like always true. Like I do something and I'm like, I didn't anticipate that I'd be able to do that, but I ended up doing it, like editing a video and getting it up in time, even though I stayed up all night, and that kind of stuff. And it's not ideal, but like it happens and I did it. And that adds to that arsenal of like, here's what I'm capable of and here's what can happen.
Sometimes it's good just to get out of that loop. And one of the big issues I had when I first started doing this stuff was there was stuff I wanted to do and I didn't exactly know how to do it or find the resources to learn how to do it, and that would prevent me from doing a lot of things. Eventually I said, well, that's dumb. Why don't I just do what I can do and start building my skills that way? And like my production has just moved and it hasn't stopped ever since that.
Yeah, and also like even talking about like jobs like outside of this and stuff like that, like sometimes like you can be scared of like, oh, here's the list of all the responsibilities if you get this position, and can you do it? And usually for me, the initial knee-jerk reaction is, I don't know. But then I'm just, okay, I'm gonna do it, right? I'm going to almost like act like I can, because chances are I can. And if I need to learn something, there's almost like if you're moving to a new position, like a higher position, a more involved position, generally there are going to be things that you need to learn, you know, and it's okay that you're learning along the way. Just be sure to ask questions, admit your mistakes, don't get defensive, you know, and hopefully you just have a good boss, you know, who's not going to just rag on you and stuff like that. Thankfully, I don't. Shout out to my boss.
There was almost a name drop there.
I saw it.
I've been avoiding names.
Form.
I'm like, I'm not going to throw around names unless it's like a first name, and then also they've been on the show, so I can throw that out there.
So for me, all I've really been up to is getting medicated. So I had my dose doubled, and that has been really good. I've felt fantastic for the last couple of weeks. And just, you know, doing some other stuff that I don't want to talk about here on the show until I got something more concrete. But you'll hear more about that probably soon, I hope.
Probably soon.
I hope.
We hope.
Yeah, just like I'll probably upload the video that I recorded 2 weeks ago. You know?
And also I got a haircut.
Yeah.
You look good, Brandon. I told you this
Thanks.
earlier, but I'll tell you it, and it'll be recorded forever. You look good, Brandon.
Well, it was at both of your recommendations.
Yes.
Where to get my haircut, and I got the same stylist that you guys use, and it was a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
I might be the fourth if I move up here.
Oh, Paul also did, but he's in Wisconsin right now.
Paul.
Shout
Paul's
outs to
looking sharp,
Paul.
too.
Rest in peace.
Shout outs to
Paul's a traitor.
I missed that. What?
Everyone knows you go to Wisconsin for one reason. It's to die.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Paul, if you're out there, call us.
Uh-oh.
No, don't call us. You're a traitor. We don't want you anymore.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. I love you, Paul. Is that right?
We all love Paul.
Yeah, that's been about it for me, but we have been watching some TV, movies, playing some video games, all that fun jazz we like to talk about on the Breakdown podcast. I've kept my list a little bit small, even though I have about 6 weeks of content.
Yeah, it's okay. I've already
you
filled up
actually
half
have-
the show with
far
like
more content.
needless banter.
With
so.
philosophical conversation.
I was like,
know it's
man,
philosophical.
the formula for this show has changed a lot since the last time I was on here. This is a weird intro.
I see. Here's the thing. Like Brandon hosts the shows, right?
Right.
I like not having that responsibility sometimes, but like, you know, in the end, I'm gonna try to influence. And for the breakdown, it's so much more casual. Like we're not talking about any specific news that needs to be talked about. So like, yeah, I'll go on rants. That's what I do.
It's nice to talk about each other, too.
I like-
you know.
Oh man, I'll
I like
probably go on a
talking.
rant today.
Oh, yeah. I'm anticipating that a little later.
I'm like getting shaky over here. I'm like, I need to talk about it.
You know what, Joe? Why don't we just start there?
Oh no,
Kick it
that's
off,
it's gonna
brother.
be the whole podcast.
Okay, well,
If that's the whole podcast,
I'm throwing
then so
your
be
corner.
it.
Okay. Final Fantasy XIV is really good, Brandon.
Hey,
Yeah,
I've been playing
Final-
it too.
Oh wow,
we've all played it a little bit.
we've all played it a little bit. Shouts to Marls Remora over here.
Oh,
Is that your character
the
name?
first one was Dice
Was it?
Rasan, and the second one was Marls.
Oh, you have 2 characters?
I had 2 characters.
I didn't know he had 2 characters.
Wow, that's a revelation for you.
Dice was the one with the blonde pompadour.
I don't remember
He was the
that.
dragoon.
That
All I
is
rem-
like
all I
on
remember-
brand.
All I remember is your summoner.
Yeah,
Arcanist.
Marls was a summoner.
What'd you make a second character for?
I wanted to be a summoner.
Oh.
Wait, but you can swap jobs. And
I wanted
it's
another
one
character.
Of the biggest things.
I didn't want to be
I want
human
another
anymore.
character. Oh, you didn't want to be here because here's boring in
I
a
was
fantasy
Aura.
world.
What? Yeah. Okay. Let's.
Yeah, I'm a cat man.
Okay. Yeah. What races are we on? So
I was Aura, right? Aura.
You were
It was the horn
the
guy.
dragon-y
Yeah,
people.
I love those guys so much.
and then you're
I don't know
cat.
the name of my race.
Oh my god, Mikote.
Mikote?
Mikote.
Okay,
As well.
that's me.
Yeah.
I have ears and a tail.
Yeah, you look like a cat.
I have cat ears.
You're a
and
cat
tail.
boy.
Cat boy.
So my decision making process
Yeah,
was like this,
yeah.
right? So like at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna read through all of the races and make an informed decision based on my personality.
think
And
I
then
know
I
what-
saw the
where this is
Lalafell. I'm like, a little person.
Lalafells have more fun. It's proven.
Like you're
scientifically
just,
proven.
And then I
Someone's
chose my initial
Weird.
class to be an archer, and I was like, this is perfect. And then apparently,
I love it. I was like,
That's kind of perfect.
I in a Discord call with Logan, it was just like, Logan, did you know when you picked Archer? Did you know beforehand that it turns into Bard?
see, and that's like perfect because like, yeah, I'm the musician. I'll say it again and again.
Man.
Go check out my music on Bandcamp that I released like 3 years ago.
That's like that subtweet after the one that blows up.
Yeah, but like
Here's
I
my
was like,
Bandcamp link.
it was fate. It was fate for me
I
to be
I
Lalafell. It
love
was a
it
fate
so
for me to
much.
be Archer and eventually become the Bard. And it's just like I didn't even have to try, and I'm already living the role.
When
you
I
know?
saw you with a bow, I was like, oh man, that's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. I doubt he even knows.
Wow, Joe, what race is your character?
Wow, am I a Lalafell?
Maybe.
Dang.
Probably.
How did you guess?
Lalafells.
They have more fun. It's just more fun to play as a Lalafell. You get to be cute,
Yeah,
but
get
you also
good.
get to be serious.
I'm
You know what
cute.
Lalafells don't have?
This
Horns.
is like the racial
Fair
division
enough,
right
fair
here.
enough.
We have
Fair
stuff on
enough.
our head.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I also have hair.
My hair's red.
The table.
Your hair is totally. You picked the like Naruto Sasuke hair.
No, he's got like a ponytail.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while. You have your helmet on for some reason.
Yeah, because I wanted the defense.
No. You
you
can
can turn
turn
it-
off.
Oh, I
the
can
helmet.
toggle. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that then.
That's good.
I was surprised you weren't rocking the pompadour with that.
Yeah,
hat.
I was about to say, I very, very specifically just went all out. Like, I have, like, tons of earrings. I have a pink
A
pompadour.
really stylish mustache.
Really stylish
I-
mustache.
When I saw that character, I was like, is this Logan? Because you have a different name on the Discord server, so I didn't actually know it was you. I was like, is this Logan? Because this is a character Logan would make. And I looked at your, like, @ symbol. I was like, oh, it is.
Ooh, Santi's dropping a little shade. He says Lalafells aren't hot.
Yo, somebody,
That's true. They are
can
not
somebody
hot.
ban? Can somebody ban him? We don't need that in the chat.
Our #1 mod.
Ban yourself.
He's here at
Put
every
yourself in the
podcast
timeout.
moderating. Man, have you seen him? He's like that. Bopping fools.
He's doing a good job. He's the only one in chat.
You're not supposed to ban everybody.
You know, I'm really gonna miss, like, if at any point we gain like enough of a following where the YouTube chat just becomes like
Where you can't
unreadable.
interact with
Yeah,
it
it's
anymore.
unreadable
Yeah.
cancer. Like,
That's when we're gonna have to do like a members only stream, so only members can be in the chat,
yo, that's the dream.
or we can turn on members chat only in a regular live stream too. We'll figure it out.
I was talking to Brandon about Final Fantasy, the trial version, because the trial is free trial.
Until level 35.
Until
right?
level 35, and you can keep playing. You can level up every single job to 35 if you wanted. If you're that kind of a person, you can do that.
Nolan would have definitely done that.
No one would have done that.
Nolan's already put like 40 hours in. He's like level 46.
I am. It is insane to me. I'm not even friends with him in the game yet. I need to, because like I'll run a dungeon with him really easy.
Yeah, dude, he's been playing. He's like, hey, let's play. And then I'm like, busy, I get off late.
I love how into it he is. I'm
yeah.
so happy
I'm
for him.
really happy.
I think he really needed it. Like, this is his trade off for having a job.
This game carried me through 2017. Let me tell you.
It's funny too, because like the day I was gonna start playing, you guys were like egging me on to get into Risk of Rain 2.
I was so upset, and I wasn't gonna say anything.
I wanted to play Final Fantasy XIV so bad.
You made a character. You didn't even see the populace yet. You just walked a little bit and went, well, I'm going to go play Risk of Rain.
I spawned in Limsa
I was this
Lominsa.
close. I was this close to having it.
But now
Put in my referral code.
Nolan, the one who really wanted me to play Risk of Rain, is like exclusively playing Final Fantasy
It's
XIV.
really funny.
Yeah,
to me.
he's not waiting around. He's like, I'm
No, he's
playing
just going.
this.
Like
Yeah.
I need to hit up with him because I would love to do some dungeons.
It's a really wonderful game. I love the world that it's built.
Eorzea is so good, and
Yeah,
like
it's really pretty.
it is a continuation of that original game. It's not like they just scrapped the world. Instead, they dropped a literal meteor on it and wrote it into the lore.
That's so amazing
You haven't
to
even
me.
the stuff in 1.0 with the massive meteor, like it kills all of the music and sound effects in the game, but plays that one song you hear in the fight, just like muffled like this.
Oh man,
And it played in every single area, and it was amazing.
is there video of that? On?
There's video of that. I can send you a really good one.
Okay, I want to see that.
That's the thing. That one of the things I've struggled with in this game is like there's a lot of text.
There's so much text.
And when you're not that into it and invested, it's easy to just kind of skip over it, you know?
Hey, I skipped like all the quests from level 25 to level 50. I stopped reading them, and then I just like did a quick recap because you can watch any of the cutscenes later on. But like you start to get a feel for. I know exactly
you can
what
tell
text
when it's important.
So I think I hit about level 19, level 20, and I started really getting into the actual like combat and reading up on like, okay, here's what all of these different actions
Bard is
do.
crazy. I don't know how to play Bard. My hands can't do it.
Yeah. So I've been like one of the things gives you like an up and critical chance. Another one gives you the possibility of activating a for sure critical chance on another
we call
action.
That a proc.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of learning how everything interacts, and I'm really appreciating. Because at first, like it felt kind of mindless and easy, but then I started dying, and then I was like, maybe I have to like actually think about this.
Yeah, so you die a lot before you have a companion chocobo with you, because you teach your chocobo tank, healer, or DPS on its own. So like when I roll as a tank, I swap my chocobo into healer mode. Healed while
Oh, I didn't know they had their own like.
They do. It's
that's
crazy.
Cool.
They'll tank for you.
That's awesome. Well, I'm the tank.
You're the tank. I went and I was like, Brandon, I think you would really like these jobs. And I talked to my friend who's played every job, has them at level 70, and we're like, good entry points are ninja and dragoon, and you were like, I picked warrior.
Well, the problem
the
was,
big
like,
axe. I picked the big axe.
I was looking through all of the classes, and I didn't see anything that you had told me, and I was like, I guess I'll just go with the one that looks like a hammer.
It's because you get your job crystal after you start as a preliminary nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's lancer, then dragoon. It's archer, then bard.
Okay.
It's okay. I mean, I'm having fun as a warrior.
I think you actually fit the tank role pretty well. I started learning warrior so that I might be able to help you if you run into issues.
Okay.
So I've been running warrior on the side, not telling anyone about it.
I mean, I'm used to.
That cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah,
I'm used to like absorbing all the damage, like because I played brute in Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Also, like I play hammer in Monster Hunter, so I'm always like right up in the monster's
You're
face.
always right up in there. So
That's just like that's my game is being in danger.
You knew your actual class you wanted.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
So I mean, but they make it so easy to like swap classes too. You just change your weapon.
Just bam, it's done. You make
So easy.
sets on the side as well for your armor. It's great.
Yeah, I've got the full set of Hall of the Novice armor, which
You were
right
the
about
brand
that.
new stuff. You want that? It'll keep you good for 28 levels.
Wow.
Sorry, until 28.
Oh,
rather.
okay. I don't have a lot of time left. Then.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it gets a little bit harder, every level. It gets a little bit longer. So
it's mostly because tanks need to be up on their gear because they're taking a lot of damage, and hopefully DPS are never taking damage.
It was kind of unfortunate, like when Nolan and I found out we were both.
My heart broke, but Nolan's like, "Don't worry, I plan on meaning everything."
I fully expect it.
He will. That's it. That's the sentence. He will.
Yeah, he's eventually just gonna learn everything. I mean, he's already into it. He's like, I think I have a problem. Like, I've already played 40 hours, and I'm like, that's a weird flex. Like, oh no, I'm so bad. I played
addiction
so
to an
much.
MMO is a real thing, and there are actual signs to look out for. So just keep an eye on Nolan.
I could like feel some of that happening to me as I was getting into the game, and I was like, all right, I need to pace myself.
You have to turn off your reptile brain. You have to like go in there and go, nah.
I mean, I've abstinated from the game since Monday.
Oh man, yeah, abstinated as in passed out as soon as you got home.
Yeah, sleeping. I've been doing a lot of that.
I'm so sorry.
I've been trying to get better sleep.
Sleeping.
Specifically,
That's the best game.
Not taking my phone to bed. I'm so bad about that.
Really?
I'm so bad at that still.
Still there.
It's so bad because it's like, entertainment, and then you can look up more MMO stuff if you really want.
So for clarity's sake, like we have all purchased the game.
Yeah, we've all purchased the game, as in I gave you codes for the video game.
You had so many.
I have a lot of code. If you want a Final Fantasy XIV code, I have 6 remaining codes.
Yeah, this isn't
for Final
even. This
Fantasy
is
14.
kind of a giveaway. Go on the Discord if you want a
Yeah,
code.
go on
for
the
Final Fantasy
Discord
14.
and at Joe and a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And it's all like, none of it's like illegal. It's all fairly
They
obtained.
gave this away through Twitch Prime.
Yeah,
I
so
just have them.
he's got plenty.
So many people who are already playing the game. Like, hey, I got.
Heaven's
I got
Ward is
another-
free right now. You just have to figure out somehow how to log into
Oh
Square
my
Enix.
god, that was the most terrible experience I've ever had on a website in my life. I thought, getting an
still
early
haven't
bird
gotten it.
badge to E3, the Gamer
I-
Pass was bad.
I
This
have
is worse.
never interacted with a worse account system in my life. It's like this game already has like 7 barriers to entry, right? Like 1, it's an MMO, 2, it's a subscription based, and then like you have to make this account, and then there's a separate account that you can't log into with your other account, but you have to make a new account under that account to make a new password.
And then you have to
you're like,
link them
"What?"
together, and then it doesn't work.
And then you click
afterwards.
forgot password, and that's how you log in.
And if you're redeeming it through Mog Station, turn off your VPN.
Turn off your VPN.
Yeah,
Do not
that
have
was a
VPN.
weird one.
I was
That
like,
was
why
a
isn't
weird
this
one.
working? Why isn't this working? Wait, my VPN's on.
Poor Nolan stuck with the Steam version.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the
It's
world.
not the worst thing in the world because I'm pretty sure he just loves the game at this point.
Yeah.
So he'll just pay
I mean,
for
we can
it.
still play.
I mean, speaking of expansions,
I mean,
though,
he's already paid
There's
for
an
it.
expansion coming up.
Shadowbringers is on the way out.
There's
So
an
like,
expansion coming up.
it comes out like you have early access because you pre-ordered.
Oh
correct?
yeah,
and
I
that,
don't pre-order games, Brandon.
And that launches on June 28th, which is also the day Mario Maker comes out.
Oh yeah.
So I was like in bad Mario Maker mode. Like
Yeah,
it was
you
all
were.
I could
Yeah,
think
you were.
about. So I was like, I need something to occupy my mind.
And I was like, here's this thing that's occupying my mind, and you're like, I will latch on to that too.
And then I did.
We need to
But
play some more.
I'm going to be playing a lot more. But
Yeah.
so Shadowbringers is on the way.
Shadowbringers is so close. They put out the benchmark. You can load in your own character to the benchmark and see your character doing super cool anime stuff.
That's awesome.
Ah,
So there's like a new race too?
there's two new races,
races,
technically. Just only they're gender locked, which is never a thing that's happened before.
Really?
Which I am upset about.
That's
But I won't
frustrating.
go into that.
Okay.
Um,
Do you get to make a new character? How does?
In the benchmark, you can go in and create a Viera or a Hrothgar. That's the names of the 2 races.
Mhm.
It's really hard to say. Hrothgar is really hard to say. I've never said that out loud before.
We are the bunny people, right?
Hrothgar.
Isn't? I've heard that word before in
Hrothgar.
another
High
fantasy setting.
Hrothgar is a thing in Final Fantasy.
Okay. Maybe it was Final Fantasy. I
It
don't
was probably that.
know. Okay.
And then you can import those straight into the game. But the way you change your race in Final Fantasy is a potion called a Fantasia.
Okay.
It is a microtransaction, but when
Makes
you buy
sense.
the game, you get one.
Oh, you just get a freebie?
You have one. You didn't even realize it. It's in
Oh.
your mail, probably.
Okay. So they give you the opportunity to
Yes,
change.
yes.
That's nice.
It also regularly goes on sale, and like you're not changing that much.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, I used to be a cat lady, and that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. You get attention from people
oh.
that you don't want, and also they're trash. And they
I
look
see.
like trash, and I don't like them.
Are the Hrothgar, are they gender locked to male or female?
They are gender locked to male.
Okay.
They use the model for the Rodigan body, the male body, because female Rose and male Rose look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a lion face.
Does it now?
Yeah. No, it really doesn't. It looks bad. I
Oh.
don't understand.
What's
I can't
the-
make a
I was
good
kind of
look-
like tempted to maybe change to
I
that.
couldn't make a good looking one. I've seen some good looking ones, but no.
What's the justification for gender locking it? Is
They,
there?
they
any?
have put down the justification, and from a development standpoint, I 100% agree with them. I know why they did it. It makes a lot of sense. I don't want to get into it,
Okay.
but it's mostly resources, and I
Okay.
understand.
So, like, I've got my rabbits now, so it's like, I'm going to be a rabbit man.
You can't be a rabbit man because Viera are locked to female.
Oh, I had it backwards. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I wanted to be a bunny boy, but I cannot be a bunny boy, so I'm sitting on 3 Fantasias that I will never use.
Hey, Joe, I am now also upset.
Yeah.
I don't ever plan on changing from my little person, so.
They're going to be really good in the expansion, but I won't say why. It's spoilers.
So, yeah, there was like a really long live stream detailing everything, too.
Man, that live stream starts with an hour of technical difficulties, and I feel so bad.
You were giving me the play-by-play and sending me screenshots, too. Oh, I felt
I
bad.
felt so bad for everyone, but, like, man, Yoshi P at the end owning up and being like, this is not the production's fault. This is my fault for scheduling this poorly. Good guy. Great guy. They detailed all of the changes. You want me to get into the changes? I'll get into the changes.
Okay, you can drop a few of them. There's
Okay.
one that directly affects my class.
There's one that directly affects every tank. There's no more attack stance. They're getting rid of attack stance, and it's only tank stance. So before, with tank, you would turn on tank stance when you wanted to generate hate,
Mm-hmm.
but it does 20% less damage, and you take 20% less damage.
Okay.
So what you wanted to do was swap over to attack after that. And what was actually happening is people were like, it is slower to get through dungeons with tank stance, only use attack stance. And people would only use attack stance and go through dungeons like that. So they said, getting rid of attack stance, now tank stance, the only thing it does is generate more enmity, hate.
Without, like, the damage changes?
No damage changes. It's now perfect. You can just attack stuff, and when you want to get all that aggro, that juicy aggro, turn on that tank stance.
I'm glad that, like, they recognized something that was fundamentally flawed with that whole class.
Yeah, like, they usually do huge sweeping changes with these expansions. Like, the system you're interacting with right now was completely different in 3.0.
Wow.
Like, 4.0 completely changed everything over to what we have now, and it's way better. And now they're just refining this current one.
And one thing you also told me is that TP is just being removed?
Yeah, TP is just being removed. They already said this before, but now we know that it is all pooled into MP, and you are capped at 10,000 MP. Because they said the reasoning behind it is it didn't make sense to have it be a number that was just random and you can increase and decrease. They want attacks to be more of percentages of your overall pool.
That makes more sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense, but people are upset about it, and I don't understand why.
It's funny, too, because, like, Nolan, one of his complaints is that he didn't have a lot of TP, and now he doesn't need it.
Marauder
What
has
is-
a terrible
what is
time with
TP?
TP. TP is what tanks and melee DPSs use. So you haven't experienced that. It is a stat. It's much like MP, but T.
Yeah, that's literally the only difference.
It's literally the
Oh.
only difference is the third bar on your screen.
Okay.
It's yellow.
Another huge change is, you know how you have attacks, and you press it, you attack, and then as a cooldown it goes.
Yeah.
There's now something called a charged skill. When it does that cooldown, it keeps going for a second cooldown, because before, if you were not pressing that button as soon as it was ready, you were losing DPS, and you were hurting your team.
Mm-hmm.
So now it saves it as a charge, and you can just pop it multiple times in a row,
Oh.
and it keeps your DPS stable, but gets rid of the micromanagement.
That's nice.
Which I think getting rid of micromanagement that's too much is really good. They're just getting rid of a lot of skills that didn't need to exist now.
They're just being removed?
It's like, my crossbar's full, my 2 crossbars. And they're just removing a bunch of skills that didn't need to be there, like Protect, a skill that lasts for the entire dungeon that gives you 10% damage decrease. It didn't need to be there, you just had to cast it once.
Yeah, that's kind
It
of
didn't
dumb.
need to be there at all. But you needed it on your hotbar because you need to cast it once.
Not intelligent design.
They're changing healer, and they said we're changing healer, and then moved on to the next slide, basically, and everyone is very upset.
So they just didn't say what they're doing?
They didn't really say what they're doing to healer, and
Maybe they have bad
I'm a
moves?
white mage main, and I'm very afraid because they're not adding a healer this patch. They're only adding a DPS and a tank.
Isn't the problem there's already too many DPSs?
There are 17 DPSs if you include Dancer. and 3 healers and 4 tanks.
That is a very unbalanced
Yeah.
number of classes.
If a healer comes out the next expansion, it will have been 6 years.
Wow. Why? I mean, you only
Okay,
need
so
one on your team in a
They
dungeon.
did a tank, a healer, and a DPS for Heaven's Ward, and they said, we're never doing that again. That was a huge resource issue, and that's fine. It's fine.
It makes sense.
So in Stormblood, everyone's like, it's fine if we only get one thing. And they're like, 2 DPSs, everybody. And everyone's like, isn't this going to destroy queues? And they said, no.
And then it did.
And then it did.
I think I got a snap from you, and it was like, was it a trial? Or it was like an 8-man party or something.
We did a 4-man party. Sastasha, the first dungeon.
Not what we did. I saw a snap from you, like, waiting to queue into a room.
Yes. Queue times are really bad for DPSs, as it turns out, because there's 17 of them. It's really bad.
Well, hopefully...
I could talk about Final Fantasy for hours. You have made a mistake by opening with it.
Well, that's
It's
why
a
I'm
good
going to
thing
throw it
this
to...
is a 17-hour podcast then.
I'm going to throw it to Dylan and talk about some of the games he's been playing.
Oh boy.
And Dylan's going to talk.
Words.
I don't know how. I am so big. I am just looking at all these indie games coming out.
Yeah, there's so many.
I have been playing a lot of Katana Zero.
Tell me about Katana Zero.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
I just know that it is a
It's a beautiful indie
Hotline
game.
Miami-esque 2D thing.
I was playing the soundtrack on the way to this house.
Really?
Because it's on Spotify, and you should put it on your Spotify. The people behind the music who made it liked one of my tweets. Don't mean to brag.
You should buy it on Bandcamp if it's on
But,
Bandcamp to get a good...
No, Katana Zero is a
Nice percentage
very quick game where you just run and slash, and you die in one hit.
It's
one
like
of
a
those
2D
games.
side-scroller, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a side scroller. It's got a neo-futuristic theme to it, and it's got some really interesting adult themes.
Are we talking about like Neo Tokyo type look?
Yeah, Neo Tokyo.
Yeah.
You play a guy in a bathrobe with a sword. It's not really a bathrobe.
It's pretty good.
But can we pretend it's a bathroom?
oh, yeah,
'Cause that
everyone
sounds better.
Is
I
it-
don't know what it
Clearly it
actually
looks like a
is, but whatever it is, bathrobe.
Is it like a
sounds
one
better.
hit and you're dead type deal?
Yeah, you have a slow motion thing because of plot reasons.
Okay,
Bullet
yeah.
time type thing.
Yeah, it's bullet time, except it's very short, and you have a roll, so you know it's a Dark Souls game because
Yeah.
it has a dodge roll.
Right. That's why I removed the dodge roll from Volpine. It's not a roll anymore, it's a dash.
There you go, dude.
Got him, we're Bloodborne.
Now you're Bloodborne.
Can't escape it.
I've been playing that and just enjoying it, waiting for DLC to drop. We're getting a speedrun mode and a hard mode.
Seems like just a perfect fit
Yeah.
for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also, there's a game called Wraith Slayer.
I seen some of this. Someone
you-
sent me a link to it.
Do you slay wraiths?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's a very quick game, as in you can beat it if you're good in an hour.
Wow.
It looks,
What happens if you're bad?
You're going to spend a lot of time dying.
It's like a 2D like boss rush type
you
deal,
have
right?
3 bosses to go through, and they're all wraiths, and they all change forms, and it's just a box. And then your only 2 moves are dash and hit,
Really?
and you have to constantly move. If you stay still, you're going to get hit.
So it's like a bullet hell almost.
Basically, and all the wraiths have a little personality to them, and it's got a good song. There's only one song, but it's groovy, like
Right.
bumping
So,
it.
so we're talking tiny game.
Yeah, it's a tiny. It's $5
Tiny
on
game.
Steam.
$5 on Steam.
$5 on Steam.
What's it called?
Wraith Slayer. I
Okay.
highly recommend it. It's a good time.
It's a
Okay.
game where you slay wraiths.
It's a game where you slay wraiths.
I said that.
That's the pitch. That's the tagline for the game.
It says it's a game where you slay wraiths. Dylan Hatcher.
that's the Steam review.
That's
I'm gonna write that now,
Official.
just to make it come true.
just thumbs up on the Steam page.
I better see a screenshot of that on Twitter later.
Oh, I'll do it. Other than that, it's just been those 2 games, and then I'm looking forward to a lot of games coming out here. Specifically, Necrobarista.
Oh man,
Oh
I've
my
been
God, I
following
saw
this
that.
game for like a year and a half now.
What's with all the games that are like you're a bartender? There's a
Oh.
lot of those now.
It's because
Is
all
there?
of the people who make cool indie games grew up now.
And they're all making the same, well, not same exact thing, but like same like vibe at the same time.
I mean, I'm into it.
I like it
Makes
too.
sense.
I just thought it was,
It's a weird coincidence.
yeah.
I feel sorry for anyone who's like, this game is a clone of Valhalla, isn't it?
Valhalla is so good.
Valhalla is so good.
Oh,
Rad Shiba.
Rad Shiba, dude. I want that T-shirt so bad.
I think I'm gonna pick that game up on Switch.
Holy crap. Necro Barista looks so good.
I didn't watch a trailer on purpose.
They got music from the person who did the anime music for Made in Abyss,
Wow.
which is pretty big.
Shoutouts to Condon.
That thing looks so good. Like the stylization on everything, the way it's a visual novel, but the text is displayed diegetically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks so good. There's a separate camera angle for like every single piece of dialogue. It's not like a front-facing dialogue box thing. They've been working on this for ages. They're in Australia, working on visual novels exclusively.
That was kind of like a feature of the Isle of Dogs movie, where like,
Really,
every like character or object had its name on it, like diegetically in the film.
oh, that's so good.
Yeah, reminds me of that. That's super neat detail.
Necro Barista. We don't know much about it other than you
coming
are
out this year
a
now.
barista and a necromancer.
When is it coming out?
This year, I believe. Fall?
August.
Fall. Yeah, it's
Oh,
finally got
wow.
a release date.
Very, very soon.
Is that PC?
I have no idea.
I know it's PC for sure.
PC for sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll keep an eye out for
According to
that.
Dylan.
Well,
just
I
know.
think that's like the safest bet.
yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
Oh, man, what have I been playing? Dauntless. I started picking up Dauntless to
Oh,
see
yeah.
what it's like.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's a game.
It is a video game. I played it.
I enjoy it. I've been wanting to see if I can get a group of us to play it, just to see what it's like.
I mean, it's
Monster
free to
Hunter.
play.
I-
There
I'll
might be some
download it. I'll
hashtag content for
download
that.
it.
I want just like a 4-player, and like they got guns in it finally.
Oh, really?
They
Did
have guns now.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Like-
give you guns.
Did you know Monster Hunter has
played
guns?
in very, very early alpha, and they had 3 weapons.
They had an issue yesterday where everyone was 20,000 behind in queue.
Oh no!
Wow.
I feel so bad when those kind of issues happen. It feels
sucks.
so bad.
And this game's like very unapologetically Monster Hunter, but like in a good way.
Well, they wanted to fill the niche of Monster Hunter not being on PC, which
Very
Ouch.
quickly
I feel so
changed.
bad. Like
That's unfortunate.
it's clearly what they were going for was to make a Monster Hunter for people who want to play a game in 60 FPS.
I mean, well, there's still a lot of merit there because the designs are great, the weapons look cool.
Yeah, like, I like the art style of Dauntless. I like the weapon effects.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, also they have skills for the weapons. Like you can unlock skills too.
Yeah,
So
they got
each
that
weapon has
system
the
in
regular
there.
combos, but on top of that, you can press Q, and you do a skill. And normally I go for those fast weapons because there's like chain blades.
Chain blades are
And
neat.
there's a pike,
yeah.
but I picked up the axe to have fun, and it's skills where you throw it, and it just keeps going, and you press Q, and it comes back, and you slam it down, and I'm like, I'm an axe man now.
Oh, it's like that. It's like the throwing the axe in God of War.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It basically feels like God of War, but heavier.
I haven't played it in a
awesome.
long time. I'm willing to give it another shot because I played it super early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to jump in for that. I mean, I love Monster Hunter, so I'll probably like this game.
Scratches a different itch for Monster Hunter, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'd like to see from Dauntless is like, how does it differ, from Monster Hunter? Because like otherwise, like, is there really a big reason in me actually playing it other than the fact that it's
Well,
it's
now
just
that
free?
World is on PC, I would hope that they would take more time to continue to diverge, so to make it its own thing. It seems like they've already kind of achieved that.
Yeah, when I started, like, crafting was just barely in there, so like I don't know where they are now.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cosmetic stuff too.
It has the Fortnite way of microtransactions where you buy it and then you just level up.
like a battle pass type
Mhm.
deal.
It's a battle pass. And the main difference between Monster Hunter and Dauntless is in Dauntless you can jump.
oh
Oh yeah.
You can jump. Does nothing.
You also have a flare.
It's binded to the F button.
But it
That's
doesn't.
messed
Can you
up. That's
attack in the
messed
air?
up.
No.
You can attack in the air in Monster Hunter, and you can't jump in that game with
I
the
was
button anyway.
I was trying to jump in the game and I rolled and I was like, space bars roll?
For your information, Volpine does have a jump attack. We have 2.
Wow,
Ooh.
two.
Let you know we have 2 jump attacks.
Wow. See, you're getting the scoop here on the breakdown.
Oh,
Double the attacks in the air.
Double.
know-
Wow.
Wow.
I got a different scoop for you. Did you know you could be a fox with a sword?
No.
Oh no.
I'm
Did
actually
I
gonna
miss the point of my own game?
I'm actually gonna create a competitor to your game. It's essentially going to be.
Oh, is it called
Volpine.
Tokyo Jungle 2?
No, but I'm actually gonna. The real difference here is you're gonna be able to double jump. And then also triple jump. But you won't be able to attack in the air. But you will just be able to run up to large monsters, pick them up, and throw them off the map.
We had a glitch in an early version where when you attacked in the air, you do like a sweep with your sword and then slam down, but you could cancel it partway through and then keep doing it and infinitely go up into the air.
That's the advanced technique.
It was one of our favorite modes of travel.
How long did that stay in there?
We got rid of it early this year.
You should have just made it like a toggle. In the
we had to get rid of it because, the video game.
Yeah. Well, it's always there in your heart.
Yeah, it's there in my heart. Go ahead.
I talked about the Q button, and it reminded me of a story.
Yeah?
And my story is notoriously short, so let me segue with this one.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
When I first started playing PC games, I was left-handed. I'm still left-handed. So I had the mouse on the left-hand side.
Clarifying.
I had the mouse on the left-hand side, and I would play
No.
Team Fortress 2. And so I binded my keys because I was like, it's hard to do things when everyone's right-handed, so I made the Q button quit. As in Alt F4 quit.
Oh no, like QQ quit.
So I would run around playing games by using WASD to run, and I would accidentally hit Q and I just quit the game.
But Dylan, how many times did this happen before you changed it?
It happened too often.
Oh my gosh.
I love how it,
Dylan.
you persisted.
You said you binded it to
I
Q?
binded
While
shut
you
down
were
the
using
entire game.
WSAD?
Dylan, I'm so glad to know this information
Why didn't
about
you bind
This
it to
paints a
escape?
very, very specific
That'd be too
portrait of you.
easy.
It's on the
Q stands for quit. Q stands for quit. That was my entire thought process.
When you said Q, like I knew.
F stands
why you
for
selected
fight. J is your jump button. At W is obviously walk, but actually that
it.
one.
No,
makes
it's
a lot
W
of
for
sense.
Wombo.
Anyways, I learned how to play PC games with the right hand, so I'm good now. I'm normal.
Okay.
Santi, why would you do that? 3 question
No,
marks.
it's like I think it was like the like Catholic schools where if like you were left-handed, they would like swat you and force you
I'm
to.
not Catholic.
They did that to my dad.
So
Now he's
essentially, you did
ambidextrous.
that to yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
they would slap my dad's hand for right and left-handed. Now he's ambidextrous. It's
Oh
crazy.
wow.
You know,
He I think he
it's a
writes.
blessing in disguise.
He writes with his right hand and he bats left-handed.
Weird.
Yeah.
I can't. No.
Being
no.
ambidextrous has got to be cool though.
It's a little cool.
What hand do you hold your fork
Other
in?
than the trauma.
I guess it's just like whatever your mood is.
Yeah, right?
I'm gonna eat with my right hand today. Well, no, you eat lunch with your right hand, and then you eat
You
dinner.
with your left
Think
hand.
Exactly.
about, think
'Cause you
about
gotta
how you
close out
could
the
like
day.
throw people off. Like, just throwing out your left hand for like a handshake or something like that.
Well, most people get thrown off by left-handers anyways. The amount of times people are like, oh, you're left-handed in my life, I don't want it anymore.
Oh, you're left-handed?
Yeah, it's just
It's
constantly.
crazy to me.
Maybe
like,
the
how many
Catholics were
times
right.
People bring it up.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna have to kick you off the show for that.
That's a different podcast.
Get under the table.
That's a different podcast.
Because like Alvin and Paul are both left-handed, and I've just gotten used to it. My dad left-handed, so it's weird. It's like, sure, there are less left-handed people, but does it really matter that much?
Well, I mean,
I haven't thought about left-handedness in a long time.
See, that's it.
Well, now that we're dealing with a lefty,
Sorry.
even the fact that like
and he's on the right
He's
side.
on the right
okay,
side
so
of the
I mean, to
table.
all the developers out there, like, why do developers consider like left-hand configurations?
Do they,
Like,
Joe?
So
Sakurai didn't with Kid Icarus.
I
had to buy
it's
that
really
thing.
topical because what we've been working on for the past couple of weeks is just a menu to bind all your stuff and make sure it works 100% for everything. Every controller works perfectly now. You can do all your stuff, bind it the way you want. Use that Microsoft accessibility controller if you want. That thing's great.
Can I use my Switch Pro controller?
I don't know how to get that thing to work with Windows without using it through Steam.
Really?
But if you can do that, yeah, it should. Rewired has a thing. We're using Rewired.
Okay.
Does it have an FOV slider?
Yeah.
Good.
Are you gonna crank it?
We had an
cranking
issue. We had an issue where the default
I want to see
value.
behind me.
The default value for the FOV was 60.1. And you could increase it by 10 points. And it would always be a 0.1, and it was driving me insane.
Aaron has a question for you.
Yeah,
He wants
hello.
to know if he can use his Ouya controller.
So the Ouya's end of life, Aaron, is very, very soon.
Yeah, it's finally,
It's coming to an end very soon, so
Rip
no, you
Ouya
cannot.
owners.
I mean, it's been dead for a while.
Aaron,
it
if
came
you
out,
wanted to
actually.
download any of your Ouya games, you need to do it.
So, Dylan, I'll start with you. You guys saw, well, both of you. You saw John Wick 3.
John Wick Chapter 3.
Sure did. Oh boy.
Also,
Did you bring me 1 and 2 yet?
not yet.
Yeah,
Hey, have you not seen the first two?
I forgot.
Oh, my
Kirby.
dude, my dude. I want to
Kirby,
see
you
the-
forgot Kirby.
I forgot Kirby. Been trying to get you this miniature Kirby I put together for you
I bought
for
I
like
bought,
3 months now.
I bought a Kirby in a jar at C2E2 when I was spending all of my whole bank account.
Man, you spent a lot
I
of money
spent a
that
lot
day.
of money.
We were a little worried.
That's what happens when you leave me alone in the convention.
You walked away. Oops.
It is true. He did walk away.
No, we saw. The funny thing is Joe and I were like, Joe's like, I'm buying J12 and J11. I was like,
I'm so mad about this.
I was like,
I'm
cool.
still seething about this in the back of my mind.
I was like, cool. So it was like half
You're
hour
like, cool,
beforehand.
I'll buy J10. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to sit next to Dylan, one of my best friends,
I get there.
while I watch a great film. You get there, and
that shows
there's
J-
someone sitting next to
Wait
us.
a minute.
There's someone sitting next to us on the left side.
This happened again?
And then he chose to sit next to a rando instead of sitting to the right
forgot
of
their
us.
seat
It's an
numbers.
empty theater. You didn't sit next to me during John Wick 3.
I was still.
It was an empty theater, and you didn't.
I
You
felt-
didn't. It was
I
an
bought
empty
that seat.
theater.
This is the man who used Q to exit his video game.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's so. Like when I saw Detective Pikachu, like I went in and somebody was sitting in my seat, and I politely asked them, "Can you move? This is my seat." You know, just really quietly. And this guy was like, "Oh, okay." Like obviously he was like, "Oh, I guess I'm in the wrong."
That's the power
phase.
of the reserved seats, right? But it was
'Cause
an empty
they have to
theater.
move,
There's
yeah.
no one
Yeah,
next to
anyways,
us
the
for
movie-
the entire film. So every now and then I would hear a man laughing 4 rows to my left.
And it was an action. This is an action gory movie, by the way. I laughed at
Oh yeah,
people
you
dying.
laughed at a lot of deaths because they were funny.
Dude, it's the action sequences in those movies are always
It was-
incredible.
It's really weird.
And John Wick 3 turned it up, dude.
John
And
Wick
then
3
didn't
turned
they
it up
confirm
from
John
2.
Wick 4 too?
Yes, they did.
Oh my gosh. it's just-
So
God
Dylan,
bless.
you loved John Wick 2. You thought it was better than 1,
John
right?
Wick 2 is better than 1, and 3 is in the middle.
See, I didn't like 2 as much as 1. I still think it's a great film, but man, 3 is really good.
I think 2 is a much better like critical reception over the first one.
Strange.
I thought they were the same.
Like 1 is kind of middling in comparison.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I just looked
It's
it up.
mostly because I just love John Wick
Oh
movies.
my
Oh
God.
Yeah,
And then I saw
Three?
John Wick 3, and I think it's the highest rated of the
if
trilogy.
you like
now.
action movies and you don't watch John Wick, you're something wrong.
Can
with you.
Keanu do anything wrong? Like, is there
His
anything?
deliveries are super weird in that
Yeah.
film, and actually, it's right. It was the right way to deliver those
It was.
lines.
So
Keanu.
I was never really a big action movie guy growing up, which is
Uh,
funny because like
same.
I love Dragon Ball.
Yeah, like, man, you're the most shonen watching person I know in my life.
I've gotten into them more recently. Like I love the Raid Redemption. Still haven't watched the
Oh,
second
okay,
one.
so you love John Wick.
Yeah,
Well,
I
as it
already
turns
love
out.
John
Yep.
Wick.
They have 2 actors from The Raid in John Wick 3.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's actually really cool. Like they do it during like a kung fu homage.
It's a
at-
boss
near the
fight.
end. There's like a tiered boss fight deal.
John Wick 3 is the best
like a
video game movie of all
Kung
time.
fu
Oh,
action
man.
film tribute
Mhm.
kind of deal. It's really good. Oh man, he rode a horse.
He rode a horse,
He killed dudes on the horse.
and then people on motorcycles chased him on said horse.
It's
Wait, are you saying
incredible.
John Wick killed people in this film?
Yes.
Yes, he shot dudes in the face like 20 times.
That's a lot of times to shoot guys, especially
yeah,
in the face.
any more than maybe like 2 or 3 times is probably too much.
You would be really surprised by the end of that film.
You would be. Yes.
Like Dylan's like, wait, he's not like exaggerating or making a joke.
Hey, can you bring me 1 and 2?
I will.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to work Tuesday.
Okay, but what if I wanted to watch Chapter 3 tomorrow?
You buy it online.
That's bad.
You can rent online.
Oh, money.
Money.
Google has a thing where you can rent a movie for 99 cents this weekend.
Oh.
Oh.
Do
Just
that.
one?
Just one.
John Wick 1's worth
John
99
Wick 1
cents.
is worth 99 cents.
Okay, maybe. We're running a little short on time, so Logan, I'm gonna move to you real quick.
Yeah.
You saw Dragon Ball Super Broly.
I
yesterday.
did. I watched Dragon Ball Super Broly. It was a very, very good time. It was all the action I could have wanted out of a film. What the heck, Broly? Why are you so powerful in your base form? You know, like.
Oh, is that a direct quote from Goku?
Yes. I'm quoting Goku. I loved seeing the wonderful spoiler that Frieza's back again.
How? That's never happened before.
Yeah, they just keep bringing him back, just like Goku. It's not like Goku hasn't died a million times, but wow, what a fantastic film.
It's this is like the 20th feature film they did, and they were like, what if we made good drawing a lot?
We are going to draw good for this film, and it's going to sound good too. We're going to do good sound, and then also like the voice acting is also going to be good, and we're going to put some really cool characters in there as
There's
well.
like a lot of bubbly like smear frame kind of animation, but there's also just sequences where every single frame is completely drawn out with complete 100% detail, and it
Insane.
looks crazy.
I don't watch Dragon Ball. I'm not into shonen at all. But people keep recommending me this film just based on animation quality.
It's
worth
It's a visual treat.
I remember
Okay.
seeing the very first teaser they put out, and when we got to that point at the film, it still like hit me like just Goku kind of jumping up and down, kind of
doing a
loosening,
stretching,
loosening up and just going back and forth, and just the fluidity of animation is just like, oh, this is like. Like this is so good.
The
it's
great
so
thing
good.
about that too is that particular shot was not storyboarded for the movie. The animator just improv'd it for that scene.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's super pretty looking. And then all the designs for the characters were completely redone. For the last 15 or so years, they've been using designs by Yamamuro, which started with Dragon Ball GT, and now they're being done by Shintani, and it harkens back a lot better to Akira Toriyama's original manga artwork, and it's really pretty. And it sounds like they're going to keep using that for the next iteration of Dragon Ball Super.
Dog bless.
For the TV version.
I mean, even talking about Dragon Ball Super, like where I'm at the beginning of the Tournament of Power arc, and even like the level of animation has just increased drastically.
Well, the biggest problem is that Dragon Ball Super had a horrendous schedule. The show was announced in April of 2015, and they had not started animating it.
No.
And it was going to premiere, it premiered in April, and I think it was announced like a month earlier. Yeah.
And they hadn't started animating at that point?
Nothing. They had nothing.
Hey, treat your animators better.
Treat everyone better.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Treat everyone better.
But sounds like Toei is already preparing to give them a substantial amount of time to work on Super.
Because you also get a better product out of it in the end, and everybody's happier.
Yeah, I still remember the day I watched episode 5 of Dragon Ball Super and lost my faith in the entirety of the series. It is bad. But
Didn't they go back and correct a lot of that for the Blu-ray?
oh yeah, but there was some of it that they just couldn't save. Like it just was inherently flawed, and it
Right.
just you can't come back from it.
Is that the one with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
you've probably seen.
Even
those
I
images.
know about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a well-known thing in the anime community.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Broly's so good. I'm glad you got to finally see it.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Broly, I can't even remember other than I watched Detective Pikachu, but great movie, whatever.
We talked about
We
that on
talked-
Nintendo stuff.
You guys talked about that to death.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, what have I been watching? I've been trying to watch other things other than just like constantly falling asleep to Futurama. Shout out to r/Futurama sleepers.
Dude, respect.
Are you a Futurama sleeper?
Yeah,
My dude. This is so good.
I wasn't anticipating that to happen. That was a moment.
That was great. It's forever recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I restarted the first and currently only season of Final Space, because it sounds like season 2 of Final Space is on its way relatively soon, and that show is so good. I did not anticipate that after 10 episodes that I'd be like, where is season 2? Like, I need it. Like, I'm talking about it now, and I'm getting tingles.
Yeah,
like it's running through my body.
For those of you who don't know, that is a series that is helmed by YouTube creator Olin Rogers, who used to be part of Balloon Shop in the very early days of YouTube.
Oh,
miss
man,
Balloon
Balloon
Shop.
Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the fact that like this is really, I mean, this is what YouTube has allowed for people. It's allowed people to platform themselves and then eventually just go on to do even bigger things.
Yeah, he's been so busy working on Final Space that his like uploads to his YouTube channel have been pretty brief. But he's still doing his comedy tour, and I got to see him in Schaumburg, Illinois, a couple of years ago, and that was a great time. And he came back. I didn't get to go the second time.
So hard recommend. It is on Verve.
It's
right
super
now.
good.
So Verve's already, I think Verve's already a great value at $10 a month
The
for
actual
all that.
pronunciation, Verve.
Verve.
Yep.
It's not a VRV.
It's Verve. It even says on the website Verve.
Okay.
Verve.
Yeah.
They spell it out.
So if you have Verve or you don't know what Verve is, I think they have a free trial. If you don't, I would just go on there and watch it. Final
good
Space
deal.
is a great show. And
Go watch some
season 2
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it gives you Crunchyroll. Used to have Funimation, doesn't have Funimation anymore, but they replaced
Rest
it
in
with High
peace.
Dive. And then if you're into,
And subbed from Verve.
yeah, I still think it's a great value because I also watch JoJo. I haven't watched
Right,
that
I mean,
as-
but I've got like a separate Crunchyroll and Funimation.
right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is Verve more expensive?
It's like $10, right?
Yeah.
Crunchyroll's $10. No, Crunchyroll's $5. Sorry.
Crunchyroll is
Yeah.
really cheap.
I mean, you can
$6.95.
subscribe to the individual channels, but like you don't have to. You could purchase 2 of those channels and spending more than just like the $10 get everything. you know?
Funimation also just recently changed their pay tiers, and since I was paying for it at the time, I got grandfathered into a higher class for the same price, which basically gave me the option to do 5 simultaneous streams. So I was just able to like give you a lot.
Yeah, that's the
explains
thing.
a
Like
lot.
with
Yeah.
Explains a
streaming,
lot.
like I pay for like maybe one service.
Oh, yeah, I gave it to you too.
Yeah, you did. You gave it to me.
I pay for maybe one service, and then like all the other services I have access to are all like friends.
You're gonna need to give me that Verve log.
Yeah. Gave you Funimation, give him Verve. Fair deal.
Fair trade.
So what have I been watching? Wow, Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, season 2.
You almost got me to start on the second season the other night because I want to watch it because I love the first part.
I was like not like super excited about picking it back up because IGN's review came out. I don't even know why I clicked on it, but I just clicked on it. Not a slight against IGN, but I clicked on it and I read through the review and it was like a 6 out of 10. It's like Sabrina lost its magic, and I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing.
no.
It's a solid pun.
And then I watched Sabrina season 2 and I was like, wow, I liked that a lot.
IGN was wrong.
Heard it here first. Too much water.
It's almost like
Jose doesn't even work there
It's
anymore.
almost like reviewers can either be wrong or you're allowed to have a
Have a different
difference of opinion.
Yeah, as it turns out.
I will say I think like the first 4 or 5 episodes of Sabrina season 2 are a little slow. I remember that Christmas special that came out that just kind of was alright.
Yeah, it was a bonus. Here's extra stuff.
They don't really actually move the plot forward in meaningful ways until about halfway through season 2, and I think maybe that's why.
That's probably the holdup.
Yeah, I think that's why people are a little lukewarm. But they hit the plot hard and they go in some directions I was not expecting, and I found that really enjoyable. I'm very excited for season 3 and 4, both of which have been confirmed.
Of course they have.
Yeah.
Of course they have. I mean, this show is fantastic. I mean, I
It's
love every
Got a
character.
great vibe.
Shout out to Kieran and Shipka if you're watching the show. We're big fans.
Hi, Kieran.
So
Yeah, and what's funny is I was not even a fan really of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I am a fan of Riverdale and Archie comics.
I am a fan of Riverdale ever since they released Sabrina because I went back and I watched like the first 2 seasons.
Still waiting for that crossover episode. It's gonna happen eventually.
I remember all the Snapchats of Riverdale while you guys were obsessed with it for
It's
a moment,
so
for a hot
funny.
second.
It's
So bad.
no, I mean it's, but not. but like
it's-
really not. It's like legit.
so self-aware.
It's that's what it's. Yeah,
It's
Is it
very
self-aware?
self-aware.
Okay,
Like,
maybe I need to check it out.
I keep running into these YouTube videos where it's like Riverdale being bad for 5 minutes straight, right? And I'm just like, I sit there and I'm like, yeah, it's corny, and especially if you take it out of its context, like, yeah, this looks awful.
Remember when
But
you
like-
watched Degrassi High?
I watched a lot of Degrassi High.
This is gonna happen with Riverdale.
Oh man.
If you watch it.
Yeah, but it's like, oh my god, I'm so into this. It's so self-aware. Like, it's so intentional that like it's really like ultimately it's a stylistic choice. And if you don't like that, or you feel like, oh man, that was such a dumb line, and you're gonna nitpick at it, yeah, you're probably gonna hate it.
It's
But, like,
it kind of
just-
reminds me too of like Community, because like that first season, the show didn't really figure out what it was necessarily.
Yeah.
And Riverdale experiences kind of the same thing. Like a good portion of season 1, the show is taking itself seriously, and then as it goes on, it just evolves into this space where it knows
Oh,
what
Buffy
it
the
is.
Vampire Slayer. Okay.
That too, yeah.
And then I legitimately think the show is good. I might even say it's great. And the point that I realized that was Heathers.
That's a fantastic episode.
Like the first musical episode, I was like, oh, what?
the whole
they just-
episode is a musical.
And
Is that in
it's
season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I finished
absolutely-
season 1. That's it.
it's so good. I was like so impressed.
And they've done a second musical episode since then, correct?
Yeah, was it? I might have.
Or
Was
I think the second one was Heather's.
right? So I must have mispronounced it.
I
but
can't remember what the first one
I think it was just Heather. Might have been something like that.
No, I think the first one was a different musical. And then there's an episode that's just it's just a film noir. It's Jughead Jones trying to solve a mystery, and he keeps narrating over it.
Yeah. Man, was it Cole Sprouse?
Cole Sprouse.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Is Cole the one that plays Smash Brothers, or is it Dylan?
That's Dylan. They
Well,
both
they
play
both
Smash
they
Brothers.
both play Smash.
One of them
Brothers.
is way more.
Who doesn't play Smash Brothers?
One of them is way more.
Dylan's
about it.
like into Dylan is really into Nintendo and really into the competitive scene. I think Cole also tweeted about Animal Crossing recently, and I enjoyed that tweet.
They're how old are they? Are they our age?
They're around age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Joe is like 60, so he's like.
Yeah. Good, thanks for that one.
Yeah, so hopefully that we get that crossover episode with Sabrina soon, and I hope Sabrina's not gone for too long. I imagine it'll probably come back around Halloween.
Well, I mean, I've been waiting. We've been waiting
Weird.
how long?
Weird
for the,
educated guess. We'll see if it works out for you.
Didn't season 1 launch on Halloween night?
Yes.
Yeah, it was perfect because I was like, "Yep, this is exactly how I need to spend my evening." You know.
Joe, have you seen any Sabrina?
Nope.
See, if he watches Sabrina,
You
he's
might
gonna
like it.
have to
Oh,
watch
no.
Riverdale.
It's all right.
I think I've got more on my plate that I'm willing to dig into.
Yeah, I still want you to watch Hannibal.
Yeah, you really. Here's what you just need to sleep less.
It's-
you don't
yeah,
need all need all that sleep. It's just
I
a
don't need
waste of time,
I
waste
get
of
8 hours of sleep and I love it.
It's really good to do that. I missed that over the last week.
Oh man, I felt really bad for you the whole week.
I couldn't stay awake.
Because it'd be like, hey Joe, I'm at my house and I'm tired, and then the offline symbol appears and I'm like, okay.
Just why are people so busy? Stop being so busy sometimes.
No, me and
Just take a
Dylan had to
break.
get up real early
Yeah.
for a shoot, and I had a hard time recovering from
Oh
that.
my
Oh
gosh.
man.
It was a fun shoot, though.
Oh, I'm an actor now.
You
by
should
the
talk
way,
about that a little bit
I
before we
saw-
close.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
it was so good.
So let them know what
hey,
happened.
was
All
it in that Snapchat you sent?
It was probably in that Snapchat. All
Dylan,
right, so
your
we
physical
get
comedy's really good, by
He
the way.
was fantastic.
we get to the shoot, and the whole basis of the shoot is the
We'll
making,
leave the name of the business out.
Yeah,
making fun of
yeah.
the other guys. Basically, this company bad, our company good.
Yeah.
That's the basis of it. The guy who was supposed to play the bad company didn't show up. I guess he had to call him for work. I overheard them saying.
Okay.
So I think it was Brandon or our marketing rep or whatever they're called, sales rep, and they're like, "You want to do it, Dylan?" Pretty sure it was Brandon. In all honesty,
Well, as soon as they opened up the possibility of needing a backup, my mind just went to you.
and
I
I
was like,
was like,
you would be good at this.
and I said, "Yeah, okay." And so they get me all settled up in the vest, and it says generic person.
Home
and,
Center Havoc.
And
Or Home Center.
I button the bottom button up to the top button,
I love it. I
And-
love it.
and I'm just sitting there, and my goal is to eat Cheetos,
I saw that.
The
and
Cheeto bit.
and pretend like I'm really bad at my job, and that I'm a huge jackbutt. And
Good one.
and the people are like across from me is a woman who's not very good at acting.
I hope she never watches this
Oh, wow.
podcast.
And I just never acted in my life, and so what was the first line? Do you remember?
Try not to say the company name.
It doesn't. That's the last line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say.
I'm
that
sorry,
one.
who?
Yeah, I have to be so incompetent. They asked for like a quote on something, and I go,
They wanted a kitchen designer.
yeah. They're like, can we get a kitchen designer? I'm like, I'm sorry, who?
It's really good.
And
It's
you, like,
so
crunch
good.
on the Cheeto.
The
and then
Cheeto,
just falls
the
to the
Cheeto
desk.
falls on the desk.
I had a
It's
Cheeto in my
so
mouth for
good.
so long that I tried to bite it, and it was just dissolved, and it was just like,
I think at one point I was like, you building up a lot of saliva in there, bud.
it was so
And
nasty.
I,
And then after my 2 lines, that's all I had to do. These people who were behind the whole thing were complimenting me non-stop for like 4 hours, dude.
It was,
okay,
they were buttering
okay,
you up.
that's crazy.
My ego was so
Because
high.
like Dylan, Brandon can verify. He sent a Snapchat of that line, and I responded with, "Dylan's physical comedy is so good."
Yes,
That's
yes,
why.
he did.
That's why I want to be a voice actor, is
my
for my
gosh.
physical
Yeah, I was about
comedy.
to say, have you ever considered acting?
You gotta be physical in the
Because it
booth.
was really good.
I mean, if nothing else, we'll just start writing skits, like all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Just start producing some stuff.
I think it's fun to do it, but I just have too much anxiety, and it cripples me.
Well, you did a good job. We got a healthy tip from that.
Are you serious?
We did. He
Aw.
tripped us 20, and we paid for our lunches.
Each, by the way.
Each.
I don't know why I got a tip, but
Why
Dylan
did you?
did it.
That's because you brought Dylan.
But
You brought.
but Dylan did it.
You,
I did.
I merely was camera boy.
Dylan did it, everybody. Dylan did it.
I was director. Dylan was actor.
Just don't embiggen his ego too much.
It's alright.
Don't embiggen it.
It's okay. It's been deflated. It's
Oh.
cool. Work does that to me.
You gotta.
Yeah, how about that?
Hey man, I'm gonna be editing that commercial this coming week, so
In 2 months, I'll be famous.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Can't
because it
wait.
doesn't air
Can't
till
wait.
later.
I can't wait for that commercial and a different one.
He is the redacted business name guy now. That's
Yeah.
him.
I'm very excited.
I'm pretty sure you're just it from now on.
I'm it, as long as I'm in Rockford.
It was kind of funny. Our boss was like, "That's all he gave you?" When we told him about the tip, he was like, "There's been a little more since you acted in the commercial." I was like, "I wasn't expecting this at all."
I'm not complaining.
Don't
Not
complain about
complaining
that.
either. We went to lunch afterwards. It was a good time.
Yeah.
The next day we had another shoot, and that one was an experience.
I'm so excited to see this commercial, Brandon. You
Uh,
have no idea.
If you want some more behind the scenes, I farted. Not here. Not here. At the shoot.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't supposed to be audible, and you keeled over onto a table and started laughing, and it was a very silent store, by the way. There was no overhead music.
I was trying to foofy.
Nothing.
It was dead silent.
I feel like it is the most distilled and pure sense of like humanity if you are still laughing at farts. Like no matter the age, it never isn't funny.
Hey, that was prime humor when I was a kid. It hasn't really changed.
Hasn't really changed.
That reaction was way bigger than I ever would have thought it would be.
There's just got a lot of energy happening here around this table.
What?
Dylan's gone. Dylan's gone.
Hey, this has been a wonderful episode of the Breakdown Podcast. We need to close up shop for the night.
Yep.
Dylan, why don't you tell us where we can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Cosmic Bones, TheCosmic Bones.
And on YouTube?
I don't have an exact thing yet. It's on my Twitter. I don't have 100 subscribers, so I can't.
Santi, if you can drop some links in there, that'd be great. And Joe, where can people find you?
You can find me at volpinegame.com.
Logan, where can people find you?
As always, you can find me on Twitter at LoggyDubs, LOGGIEDUVS. You can find me at Bandcamp on Logan Daniel. I'm going to start pushing that a little bit more.
Yeah, you should.
And you can also find me on YouTube as well at the Logan Daniel. I do whatever I want to do, whether it be music or politics. That
You
goes
really
up there.
do whatever you want to
Communism.
do on that channel.
Yep. It is like an amalgamation of like whatever.
You can find me at BabaBabs, or you can find us as a collective at Breakroom Arcade. If you want to keep up with the conversation, you can join our Discord server. There's a link to that in the YouTube video
Join that
description.
Discord.
Yeah,
we have some
I'm
great
there.
people on
Yeah.
the
Joe's
Discord.
there. Brandon's there.
Everyone at
Shout outs
this
to
table.
everyone.
Logan's there.
Everyone in
Santi's
the
there.
Discord
I'm there twice.
community is so good.
You're there twice.
Shout outs to our friend Roger's Base. Tomorrow night we will be doing our E3 Nintendo Predictions podcast. It'll be the Nintendo stuff for the week. We're planning on 7 p.m. Central Time for that, so make sure to be there. Logan will be leaving my house tomorrow morning,
be here.
so we'll be remote again, but it should be a good time, so make sure to look out for that. I know we've had to delay it a couple times now, so we're getting it out there. And quickly, you can find Paul at Gunnysaurus. He's currently in Wisconsin right now, so yes. We miss you, Paul.
We miss you, Paul.
Traitor.
All right, guys, so we will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Nintendo stuff, E3 Nintendo predictions, and don't break your backs, breaking the games. But for now, break time is over.
We love you.
Doodles.